So, I'm a very empathetic person. I feel a lot of stuff. I can sense when something is wrong, when something is not right. You know, I hate making YouTube videos because I always start it with something about me. I always say I always say, I'm so cool, listen to me. Basically, when the first thing I just told you was me saying, I'm so cool, that's why you should watch this video. Look at how relatable I am because I can say these things to you and it'll keep you watching. I can add some mystery and make you believe that this is worth watching because what I said isn't like what everyone is saying. I think I criticize myself too harshly. But if I criticize myself too harshly, where did that come from? I have influence. There's a set of individuals that raised me. It's crazy. Set of individuals. Just say parents. Stop being mysterious. Well, getting a broader perspective helps me feel inspired. And I can't make a video that's interesting enough for you, especially with your messed up attention span. I can't make one special enough for you, so I have to give you a different perspective to entice you. I think it comes from how I was raised, not how I was created. Because these people didn't create me, you know? They influenced my behaviors, my patterned thoughts, you know, my thoughts that are essentially their voices and what they think of me. But they also got that from the set of individuals that raised them. Now, where am I going with this? My point isn't to get anywhere. My point is to make a point. I think I already did. I think I already told you everything that you need to know about this and why you probably shouldn't watch this video. I think you've gathered enough information and bias thinking, yeah, this is not going to be a video worth my time watching because it's boring and I'm not entertained. That's cool. But this video is not for everyone. This video is for people that are tired. And there's a certain type of exhaustion that doesn't come from use. It comes from constantly being able to perform. I don't want to say anything too prideful. I want to be real. But I guess anybody could say that. I guess even a narcissist could say that. A toxic person could say that they want to be real. How would you know? How would you know if I actually mean what I say? Sometimes people's actions are just because they want something from you. That's why a lot of people are nice sometimes, because they want something. So do actions really speak louder than words? I think discernment and intuition speak louder than anything that we can physically see. I don't feel bad. I don't despise those who are one step ahead of me, because inherently, I can't be consumed by it. I know what is real and I know what is fake. This video is for the person who knows that they don't mean to do evil. Knows. They're not trying to do anything wrong. This video is for the person who feels misunderstood. You know, I hate saying anything, because what you think of what I say, I can't control. So does it really mean anything? I want to tell you, I have it. It all makes sense. But, you know, I think we become so consumed by this reality essentially driving our attention towards something physical, because all we look at is the physical. It's all we can see. Now, us humans are very shallow. We're more shallow than the kiddie pool at Pirates Bay. We're more shallow than that. People who feel stronger emotions, people who are more sensitive, people who have more empathy, people who have a compulsion towards empathy with more of an enlargement of understanding. Those people, I believe you're real. I would like to believe you're real, because I don't want to feel like I'm the only one. So that's why I make this video, in hopes that maybe a placebo effect will occur, with my intention thinking that people like me, similar to me, no one is the same, and no one knows anything about anyone else. Everyone is individually a different concept, a different math problem that nobody knows how to solve. Only God does. Because he holds dominion over all. I am happy. But now when I say that I'm happy, I'm starting to understand something that I never saw before. Happiness is fleeting, but the joy of the Lord is steadfast, constantly sustaining me in all circumstances. I don't feel happy happiness goes away. Happiness is something you feel for something that happens. Joy is an exaggerated depth of enthusiasm and curiosity and wonder and hope. I feel joy. I am joyful. Now I know there is no one like me on this earth. But me making this video gives my brain, like I said, a placebo effect. That, oh, if I just say something from what my brain is asking me to say onto whoever I can reach, if that is, they reach back. Only you know how to do that. And if you're still watching, you are. Putting this out there and saying it to thee gives me an expectation that, they know what I'm talking about. Nobody does. And that can be lonely. But I don't ever feel lonely. I feel overly aware that being human is not what matters. So in a way, I feel the most rustic form of being alone, the most purest form of loneliness, because I understand something that cannot be withheld from my conscience. It is that I know what I know, and I know that I know that I know. I know that I know that I know. I love saying that. I love that. I know that I know that I know. And if there's something that you're doubting, if you want something to happen, this life is not a puzzle. This life is not a puzzle. It is not a puzzle. This life is not anything we could compare to physically. There's nothing. Yeah, metaphorical. Yeah, analogies. But life itself is something much more inherently enigmatic, in the sense that what I tell you, you will never think the same thing of what I'm already programmed to feel, sense, assume, and understand. Because you and me are different, but we're still very much the same in a way. Now I'm contradicting myself. What am I gonna do to defend that? You know what? Nothing. Nothing. Because I know that I know that I know that I know that you know what you know that you know. That you think you know, but you can also think the same thing about me. So when do we ever get anywhere? I guess it's how far do we want to take it? Because if we're if we're in a constant disposition towards ourselves, as soon as I wake up in the morning, I'm disposed to myself. I belong here. And this is my vessel, and this is my body. But I have a soul. Notice how when I'm talking to you, I make facial expressions. Notice how when I talk to you, I say things a certain way. Notice how when I talk to you, I move my eyes side to side. I express to you and I transmit to you what I want you to feel. But I can't really control that because you know what you know that you know. You know what I mean? You notice all these things. You see humans moving constantly. Not because we're like plants or animals. How can we feel? Is that part of being physically able to? Or is it only enabled by an extra resource of continuous, infinite consciousness? That resides and is resident in our bodies. Is that what it is? Could we have a soul? I have a soul. I know that. I know that I know that I know. I know that I know that I know that I have a soul. How am I here? How are you watching this video? Are you able to sense something that is familiar? Make a connection, a neurological connection within your brain that happens within less than 5 seconds. It's because you're alive. This video is not to make you feel happy. Because I don't want you to feel happy. I want you to feel joyful. Because happiness is fleeting. Of course, there's a lot of questions. We're curious. We're curious creatures. We're agnomatically disposed to this world of deposited energy from God. Living souls from God. We're all here. Couldn't it be that we're here for something? We're here for something more. At the end of the day, when you go home and you're alone, you're not with anyone else. When you start thinking about those things that you don't want to think about them even more. And ask yourself, why does thinking about these things make me uncomfortable? And when you find why it makes you uncomfortable, face that and then become unstoppable. We are unstoppable because the power that rose Christ from the dead lives within us. Greater is he that is in me than any man in the world. I wanted to tell you that I love you. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. I don't know anything about you. But if you watched this video and you felt understood, understood, I don't know how that benefits you. But if you feel like it does, let it bring you joy. Let it shift your mind from negativity and understand that you can't understand something without understanding it, because you don't want to be under. It's an inner state of conscious equalization. So we're equal. We're in agreement. We agree with this. We're both consciously assuming the same thing. Because we have been programmed that way. You can buy any book you want. But you can buy the Bible and still think you need other books. Bye. Peace be with you.